Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so we are at Matthew 24, and we are about to start chapter 15.
Verse 15.
Verse 15, sorry.
She wants to go back.
No, 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 no.
Oh,
So, to put back the context, well, Jesus had blasted the Pharisees and them scribes, and then he went back with the multitude.
It's a bit far back to go.
Yeah, well, just to
yep.
put back the context. And the disciple went to him and asked him three important questions. That was when, how they're gonna see the sign, when they're gonna see the sign, and when gonna be the end of this world. So he have answered to the third one already, and now we're gonna see what it's about. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is not, let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in a field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. I'm going to stop here for now.
Okay. It would be instructive, I think, for us to read
Daniel.
Daniel.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
we're looking
Yes.
at
Daniel 9.
Daniel
9:27.
9:27. But I think we should probably go from a bit further up.
How about 24?
Yeah. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city, to finish the transgression and to make an end of sin and to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring in everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy. Know therefore and understand that from that going forth of the commandment to restore and to rebuild Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the prince shall be 7 weeks, and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublous times. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood. and on to the end of the war, desolation are determined. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblations to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate, and even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. That's Daniel's account of the end of days.
You want to look at Daniel 12:11 as well and see if that relates.
Daniel 12. Yeah,
Yeah,
do you have it?
12:11.
You want to read that or you're going to do that?
Yeah, read that and see if that connects anyway.
Okay, hang on. Let me find it. 12:11.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, just a second. I'm going to find it. 12 verse 11. Okay, starting from 9, Daniel 12:9. And he said, Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. Many shall be purified and made white and tried. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he that waiteth, and cometh to the 1,330 days. But go thou thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in the lot at the end of the days.
Hmm.
So that's twice in Daniel. The
Oh,
abomination causeth desolation.
there's more. There's chapter 11:30, verse 31.
31.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
And
let me get to that.
arms
Well,
shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that make it desolate. And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. But the people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many. Yet they shall fall by the sword, and by flame, by captivity, and by spoil, many days. Now when they shall fall, they shall be holpen with a little help, but many shall cleave to them with flatteries.
Okay, I think we
Mhm.
can stop.
and that's 11.
Yeah, and it,
So
it talks about, yeah,
Daniel has mentioned it on several occasions.
oh yeah, and he talks about that he would exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and speak marvelous things against the gods of gods, and shall all sort of things. Yes, it's interesting.
Okay, so here Jesus is answering one of the questions. Question is, which one is he answering? When shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world or the end of the age? Which question do we think Jesus is answering at this point?
The second one.
I think, yeah. I know he has been answering the third one all along.
No, he is answering the first one.
Which
That's
is?
right. Yeah, what are the signs?
The signs of these things be.
And he's
Remember,
now saying Daniel must come to pass.
remember what the disciples were asking about these things? Jesus was telling them that the temple was going to be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
He said, let us go back from the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? We are now asking, when shall the destruction of the temple occur? That's what they were asking. Jesus is going to answer that question. No. But he's going to go further in his answer than they anticipate.
Yeah. I see something here. I need to go and check in Luke. I'm listening.
Wherefore, where ye therefore, when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand. Okay, here's the thing. There was an abomination before, but it didn't, let's say, cause the destruction of Jerusalem. Here we see that Jesus is speaking of an event that will come after he. But there is been speculation that the abomination that caused the desolation had already occurred.
I think we need to read Luke's version.
Okay, go ahead.
Luke 21, reading from verse 20. Because before that, we had read it and it was related to what the church is going to do. Verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter therein. For these are the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon the people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the seas and the waves, and the waves roaring.
It's true that when it comes to the abomination of desolation, Revelation is very detailed. um, I don't remember which passage, which chapter and verse exactly specify when you see the abomination of desolation. At which point you realize that we know that in Revelation there is a trigger, which is when a peace treaty is signed. And then from there, we know that the tribulation starts. and that it will take 7 years, and that halfway of this, the Great Tribulation will start. So when he's saying, when you shall see the abomination of desolation, is it when the Great Tribulation starts, or is it when the when the peace treaty starts? Because it's talking about when he will say good things about the God of gods, and he will.
I said good things.
Well, hold on. What was bad thing? When I read in 11:31. Let me get back to it. 11. Daniel.
Okay. Wait. It says against, but let us look at what is being described. The passage that Daniel brings forth is speaking about an event that takes place within the temple itself. The temple is going to be desecrated, and there is going to be some tumultuous event that happens inside Jerusalem that causes people to be killed. Now, a lot of scholars have said that this refers to Antiochus Epiphanes and his incident inside the temple. Now, what happened was Antiochus went to war in Egypt to capture Egypt. And the Romans, having realized what he was doing, and that was Antiochus was Greek, yes?
Mm-hmm.
When he got there, the Egyptians appealed to Rome for help. Rome sent an envoy to Antiochus and said, if you attack, if you persist with this, we are going to intervene. And he didn't want to have a fight at that point with Rome. He was not militarily strong enough to defeat Rome if they had an engagement. So he withdrew. Now, on his way back, he passed through Israel. And when he was passing through, he was frustrated, humiliated by his episode with the Romans. And he took it out on Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And he went into the temple and proclaimed himself to be God and actually spilled his blood on the altar and erected a statue to, I think, Zeus inside the temple. And this was interpreted as a fulfillment of Daniel's prophecy. But it can't be, based on what the fullness of what Daniel wrote says. So but in eschatological discussions, eschatology, people who study it now conclude that it can't have been that historical figure because Jesus is referring to that event as not yet come.
Mm-hmm.
So it is said that Epiphanes was then a type of Antichrist, and this was just one small version of what is yet
What's
to
to
come.
come?
Okay? The interesting thing about it is, if you look at what Jesus says, it seems a bit contradictory. Because in the first instance, he says the temple will be destroyed. No?
Yeah.
And then he's saying that it will be desecrated. Which is it?
It will be desecrated and destroyed. Both.
Can't be.
Well, logically, it would be desecrated and then destroyed.
But look at what Daniel says. Daniel says this is going to be preceding the end of the era. The end of the age. This precedes the end of the age. So the time frame doesn't line up. Jesus is saying the temple is going to be destroyed.
Which it
And then at another point thereafter, the temple is going to be desecrated.
The temple was destroyed in 70 AD. We know it's going to be rebuilt when the Antichrist comes.
Come on, repeat that.
The temple was destroyed in 70 AD, and we know it's going to be rebuilt, and with the Antichrist. So, and he went. So he decrees himself.
So, if the temple is going to be rebuilt, it is going to have to be in place before it can be desecrated, correct?
Yep, it has to exist. Yep.
Okay. Has the temple been recreated yet?
No, but they're still collecting stuff for it.
Yeah, but right now, the mosque for the Muslims, Islamic mosque,
sitting right there.
Sitting on the dome of the rock is sitting there.
Yeah, it's sitting right where the temple should be.
Well, not quite, but we'll get to that. The problem is that the dome of the rock is there and the temple is not. Mm-hmm. So let's look at it now. If we are saying these are supposed to be signs and the temple is going to be desecrated, therefore, one of the signs for the end of our era must be the rebuilding of the temple.
Yep.
Any day we see the temple being rebuilt, then we know we are in uncharted waters here. We should be looking now for the things that follow logically from this. If the temple is destroyed, no. And the Bible says during the Great Tribulation, it is going to be that the Antichrist will go into the temple and desecrate it. It means that the temple needs to be rebuilt. And there is no sign as at this point that the temple is even close to being rebuilt. So, for all those people who are speculating that the tribulations are near, I think you got your wires crossed. Don't start speculating that until the temple is rebuilt, because if the temple is not rebuilt, how can you desecrate it?
Yep. Can desecrate something that don't exist.
Exactly. So there are people who are pontificating, oh, it's going to be in our lifetime. It may well be. With modern equipment, it may not take 3 years for the temple to be rebuilt. But the truth is, it doesn't need all of the temple to be rebuilt. It just needs the inner part of the temple
to be built, for it to be desecrated.
To be rebuilt. And that will be sufficient for the desecration to happen. In Revelation, well, in Daniel, no, where was it? Is it Revelation? I think it's Revelation, when he tells them to measure, told John to measure the temple, but do not measure the outer courts, because that will be given to the Gentiles. And guess what the Dome of the Rock is? On the outer courts. So it is not required for the Dome of the Rock to be moved for the temple to be rebuilt. There is enough space for both buildings to occupy the site. So if the Jews determined that they were going to rebuild the temple, they would not need to disturb the Dome of the Rock, but they would need to have a peace treaty with the Muslims that will permit it. Because
Not
right now,
only that,
go ahead.
I'm looking at the Jewish Voice, and they're saying the Jews are now banned by Israeli law.
Yeah,
By
they
even
can't
visiting the site. And
the Jews,
there is also a division between the Jews on whether it should be built or not, because some say it don't need to be rebuilt. We live in the spiritual world. We live spiritually now. And others say the problems that the Jews are having will only be solved if the temple is built. So right now, the Jews themselves are not together in building that.
keep in mind that the Jewish faith requires the temple for sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
For
And right now,
sacrifices,
yeah,
the Jewish faith requires the
sacrifice.
temple for sacrifice and for the remission of sin.
Mm-hmm.
It is an integral part of being Jewish.
But they have so many different types. They have the Orthodox Jew versus and they each believe something different, and that's part of the problem.
Well,
It's like how you have the Pharisees and the Sadducees in their own story. We're having all of that still.
well, that may be the case, but the temple, I don't know of any Jew who wouldn't wish to have the temple rebuilt.
Well,
They may not want the problem of having to confront the Islamic contingent within Israel. But if there was a peaceful way to have that situation resolved and the temple could be rebuilt without a problem, they would certainly go for it. And how is that going to be permitted? Peace treaty.
Peace treaty. The Orthodox Jews have revised the Sanhedrin.
If there is a peace treaty, which therefore with provisions for the temple to be rebuilt without disturbing the Dome of the Rock, it shouldn't take more than say 3 years for them to rebuild it with modern equipment.
With
Because
what's happening nowadays.
all available.
And did you know that the Sanhedrin is back?
Yeah.
The
And
Sanhedrin is back. It has been revised. Yep.
The menorah is already in. The clothing for the high priests are already in. They've collected and they're prepared. The Jews are prepared.
The Sanhedrin is in place, so yeah.
Well, the Sanhedrin is not important for the temple, to be honest.
They are the ones who supervise the building, according to the Jewish, what I'm reading right now.
Without the peace treaty to allow for that, they don't have much to work with. But I'm just saying, when we speak of the desecration of the temple, and we say it must happen, and that will be a sign, etc. Great. Mm-hmm. But without the temple being in place, there will not be any desecration of the temple.
Right.
So one of the signs, therefore, would have to be
the third temple being built.
So when do you start seeing the cascade effect? When the temple is being rebuilt. And it may well be that the peace treaty signifies and signals that rebuilding. We don't know. But when it happens, you will know. Jesus says, you hypocrites, you can tell when it's going to rain because you will see the clouds coming from the Mediterranean. And you can tell that it is going to be hot when you feel the breeze coming from the south of the desert. But you can't tell what age you are in now. And you should know. But that is because you are able to perceive what is happening. In other words, when you see the clouds coming out of the Mediterranean, and they're dark clouds, and you know they're rain clouds, you can see these things. It is something that you don't. They're obvious.
It should be obvious.
It's a sign. So a sign is something that is obvious. Okay, you're driving along the road, and there is this billboard that the government has put up to say, detour ahead, there is an accident and you need to come off this highway to a side road. The sign is there. If you don't observe the sign, then that's to your detriment. But the sign is there. Those people who observe the sign and act accordingly will be moving out of harm's way. But that doesn't mean the sign was not there for everyone to observe. And that is what a sign is. It's there for everyone to see. But only those who want to observe it and to obey it will be moving themselves in appropriate manners.
Yeah. And 15, he said you better know how to see the sign, how to acknowledge it. Because when you see it, you have measures to take.
Yes. You respond based on what you understand the sign to mean. Okay?
It's like your hurricane is coming. You know you have to do your preps.
Your signs.
Yeah. So Jesus is saying, this is, remember, Epiphanies is gone, dead. That's history. And Jesus is here now saying, when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, he's saying it is yet to come. It has not happened yet. So when you see it, stand in the holy place. Then let them which be in Judea flee unto the mountains. It has not happened yet.
No. But when it happened, this is what you have to do.
Okay? Luke says something else. You read it again for us, Janet. Do you remember that part of Luke where you speak about Jerusalem?
Let me go. I'm going there now. Luke 21, verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
Okay. Put a point there. Daniel speaks of several desolations, but we don't get that. It's not only one desolation that Daniel speaks of. He says, when you shall see it putting in desolations. Go back to Daniel. Let me see if I can find it.
Daniel 9.
Yeah. Daniel 9, I think 11.
The one. Daniel 9.
27.
27. He shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and then the termination shall be poured upon the desolate. But 26 says, and after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined.
So more than one.
But it never said the
Desolation.
temple desolations. It said more than one desolation.
Yeah. Desolations are determined. Okay? So here we only hear of one desolation. When people say the abomination that causes desolation, we only think of one. But Daniel is here saying, oh no, we're going to have more than one incident. You're going to be having more than just one incident that is considered to be desolate. Because desolation is the act itself. The abomination is one thing, and the desolation is another. To make it desolate means it's going to be abandoned. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When it says to make something desolate, you're saying nothing lives there. Nothing exists in the space. It is abandoned. So the abomination that causes desolation means one act will cause people to flee and to have the city or the space vacated. That's what desolation means. So what Jesus is saying, when you see this happening, this is what you must do. You must vacate the space. This is the desolation. Jesus is saying, leave the place desolate. Leave it. Move away from
Run
it.
away.
All right? Move away from it and leave the space desolate. Right? Because if you read it, when you shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, then let them which be in Judea flee unto the mountain. Let him which is on the
Get for the
housetop
mountains.
go down and take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. So this is the process of leaving the place desolate, unoccupied. You don't understand? Give me the question, yeah.
What you are saying is that when the temple will be left deserted,
Not the temple, Jerusalem.
Jerusalem.
When the Antichrist goes in and and does the abomination, whatever it is, pouring pig's blood, putting statue in, declaring himself to be God, whatever that abomination is,
Oh, okay, yes.
when he performs that act,
Take away
when
yourself.
Leave.
Run.
Do not stick around for what comes next. You should immediately vacate the space because nothing good coming after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Revelation 16 tells us that bowls of wrath shall be poured out.
Nothing good comes after this event. So what Jesus is saying, when you see this, get the hell out of town. Leave Dodge. And this is what causes the desolation. That's why they say the abomination that causes desolation. Right? So there is going to be a voluntary or an involuntary desolation of the those who don't live, who don't leave will die.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're, it's remember, Jesus is saying these are signs, and only those people who read the signs and observe and respond to the signs will make it out safely. The others who do not will suffer the consequences of not being observant of the sign.
Mm.
So it's going to be made desolate by you leaving and or by the destruction again of the city. So know ye therefore what the sign says.
Yeah, because if you stay in a city, you definitely could die with what is going to happen.
Who is in control of Jerusalem now?
Muslims.
Muslims, not the Jews. They're part and parcel of Israel, but it forms part of the Muslim enclave. It is the Islamists who are in charge of Jerusalem right now, not the Jews. Jerusalem is not the capital of Israel at the moment. It's Tel Aviv.
No, it's Tel Aviv.
And if any Jew tells you that they don't want Jerusalem to be part of, to be the capital of Israel, then they're lying to themselves.
We see what's going on with Gaza right now.
We're not talking about Gaza, we're talking about Jerusalem, which is the very identity of
Of
Judaism.
a Jew. Yeah. That's who makes.
Remember how the word Jew comes about? It's meaning people from Judea.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
to tell
Jerusalem is Judea.
people that they should not have Judea, it's it's ridiculous. It's like telling Americans that they should not be called Americans.
Wash. Yeah.
It's what you gonna call them. Okay? So Jesus is saying, let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains.
And all of this is in. Yeah.
So Jesus is speaking about events that are yet to come.
I put Daniel 9:27 in the New King James Version. You want to hear what the New King James Version says? Then he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week. The covenant is a treaty, right?
Yeah.
And we know in Daniel, we know that 1 day is equal to a year. So for 1 week, the treaty is for 7 years. But in the middle of the week, he shall bring an end to sacrifice and offering. And on the wing of abomination shall be one who makes desolate, even unto the consummation which is determined is poured out on the desolate.
Mm-hmm.
There is one person who is going to stop all the sacrifices in the temple. So for 3.5 years, he will give them what they want. And then he turns the table on them. And when that happens, take for yourself. Interesting.
So we shall see in the future what this sign is, and we should act accordingly. This is what Jesus is simply saying. This is gonna happen. When you see it, this is what I suggest you do.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So
So 16, 17, 18, 19, all of that
interesting,
is what you should do when that happens.
interesting thing. Luke's version speaks about the destruction of Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
When you see Jerusalem encircled, at the siege, on the siege,
Yep. It says
right?
surrounded by armies. So it definitely means, yep, under siege.
This has already happened.
These
This
are the days
is
of vengeance.
of Jerusalem in 70 AD.
Right.
What happened? When the army of the Romans came, they encircled Jerusalem. They approached. And the Israelites saw them and attacked them. And they pulled back because they didn't have all of their coordination together. And the Jews slaughtered quite a few of the Roman soldiers, and the Romans pulled back. Now, the Christians, when they saw that, they said, uh-oh, this looks eerily familiar to what Jesus was saying. So the Christians packed their bags and they left.
Okay.
They left because Jesus said, when you see, read Luke again.
Luke says, when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
Yeah. And keep reading.
All right. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them that are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these are the days of vengeance, and all things which are written may be fulfilled. That all things which are written may be fulfilled.
Okay.
And we
So,
know this is Amos coming to pass right there. So
these are the, listen, remember the parables that Jesus spoke about? When he said the king invited and the people refused to come, and therefore he got their city?
yep, he got
All
angry
right?
and killed everything and everybody. Yep.
Yeah. He's saying, when you see Jerusalem encircled, flee. So this is exactly what the Christians did. They packed their bags, wake up, and they left. And when they left, the the the
The
Pharisees,
Romans,
no, the Romans were nowhere to be seen at that point. The Romans had withdrawn,
okay,
and the
okay,
Christians packed up and they left. They have 1 week in which the Romans were not around, and they left.
okay.
And then a week later, the Romans returned. But
So if you were there at that time,
by that time, the Christians had left, and the Jews considered them to be traitors because they said, "How is it that you knew to leave?" And they said, "Jesus told us, right? Jesus told us this was going to happen. This is a sign that he told us we should observe, and when we see this, we should leave." So now we have seen it, we are leaving. And believe Jesus' prediction. So the rest of them, they stayed. And so the Romans, because they saw the Romans withdrawing, so they said it's over. The Romans came back. And this time it was a prolonged siege, and they destroyed the temple and Jerusalem. So Jerusalem was left desolate.
everything died.
And this becomes a problem for the Christians because the Sadducees vanished with the destruction of the temple. The only persons that remained were the Pharisees. And the Pharisees seized upon the fact that the Christians left and called them traitors. And they thereafter saw the Christians as being less than. Because up until that time, you must remember, the Christians were seen as just another sect within Judaism. The Christian at that point was still a Jewish religion. It was just a form of Judaism. Just like the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and so on. This was just another sect within Jewish life. But when the Christians left, that was the point where the Jews totally cut Christianity off and said, we aren't dealing with y'all. So this was the beginning of the schism between Christianity and Judaism. Because before this, The Jews were in the Christians were in Jerusalem. They were in all of the Jewish cities. Never had a
Yeah.
problem. They were, once in a while they would be persecuted, but they were still seeing. But let's go on.
Now, this is like when, so these things, you mean these signs happened before, but it was not yet.
Not all of these signs. What Luke reports is a little variation of what Matthew has. It's more detailed.
Detail, yeah.
Okay?
Because Luke actually spoke of the actual desecration, destruction of Jerusalem.
Yeah. But Matthew
I wonder what
focuses.
Mark says.
Go ahead.
No, I'm going to look and see if Mark has anything.
Right. Matthew focuses on the abomination that causes desolation.
I wonder if it does.
And this has not yet happened.
But when ye shall desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing where it ought not, let him that readeth understand. Let them that be in Judea flee to the mountains. And let him that is on the housetop not go down into the house, neither enter therein to take anything out of his house. And let him that is in the field not turn back again for to take up his garment. But woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. And pray ye that your flight not be in winter. For in those days shall the affliction, such as was not from the beginning of the creation which God created unto this time, neither shall be. Except the Lord has shortened those days, no flesh shall be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he has chosen, he has shortened the days. And then if any man say unto you, lo, there is Christ. No, stop right there. Go on to verse 20.
So
the other part is that's Mark's version.
all of this bespeaks the abomination that causeth desolation as a sign and a prescribed action that those who are living in Judea should take. So given that, to whom is he speaking?
He's speaking to the Jews.
The Jews.
He did not have no Gentiles.
Because we're not talking about Gentiles, we're talking about the Jews.
He's talking to the Jews because as you read, if you read the rest of Luke, it says it will be given up to the Gentiles after that. He didn't say anything until the time of the Gentile is ended.
Precisely. No, let's look at 21 because 21 is the key. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So, Jesus is saying, after this act shall come great tribulation. Remember now, he says before, this is the beginning of sorrow. All that was said before was going to be the beginning of sorrow. But now he's saying this act will precipitate what is now called great tribulation, the time of great troubles. So there is a line of demarcation right there.
Yeah, they should see the signs of escalation.
Precisely.
like all the way to the climax, because this is basically Great Tribulation. This is the worst.
Um, I wonder if what Daniel says in chapter 12, verse 1 relates to this. I'm
It
going to read
does.
it.
It does.
Oh, you read it already?
Yeah, man, go ahead. Read it again.
And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that should be found written in the book.
Mhm. You know, if you look at what is said in um, Daniel 8,
Daniel
Daniel 8,
8.
yeah, 23.
Mm-hmm.
Latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own hands. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And though through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. By peace, shall
Mm-hmm.
destroy many,
His
and
peace.
and shall also stand up against the Prince of Peace. But he
Mm-hmm.
shall be broken without hand. And the vision of the evening and the morning which was told is true. Wherefore thou shalt shut up the vision, for it shall be for many days. Daniel is key to Revelation. And
Yeah.
here Jesus is saying, y'all need to read Daniel. This is what
Yeah.
Jesus is saying, you know.
Go read Daniel.
Huh?
Yeah. That's what he said. Daniel tell
Yeah,
you what you need to hear.
yeah. He's saying you need to read the prophecies of Daniel. Daniel tells you what will happen. He's Jesus saying, you know, when you read of what Daniel wrote, right? Where is it? Oh, come on.
But he said that he fainted after that vision,
Yeah.
and he said no one understood it.
He says, when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand. He's saying, read it
Yeah.
so you know what it says, and then you will understand.
You know, when we look at this and we go back to Deuteronomy, you realize that this is just a repetition of what happened then. Let me read Deuteronomy. This is the curse of disobedience. Deuteronomy 28. And I'm going to read 52 to probably go 54. They shall besiege all the cities throughout your land until the high and fortified walls in which you trust have fallen. They shall besiege all your cities throughout the land that the Lord your God has given you. Then you will eat the fruit of your womb, the flesh of the sons and the daughters whom the Lord your God has given you, in the siege and distress that your enemies will inflict on you. The most gentle and refined man among you shall begrudge his brother, the wife he embraced, and the rest of his children who have survived.
they shall become cannibals.
Yep, that's what that's what
What
Deuteronomy is
happened?
saying.
What was it? This is exactly what happened. It happened more than once.
Yes, what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This is going to happen because this was in Deuteronomy. It happened, and it's coming back.
It happened more than once. It happened again when the Romans seized on Jerusalem. There was famine inside the city.
And so they
There's
started to
famine,
eat each other.
right? The siege. It wasn't a 1 year thing campaign. I think it was from 76 from 66 or 68 to 70 AD that the siege began. I'm going to check it, but it lasted for a while. It wasn't a 2 week campaign that saw Jerusalem destroyed. No, it took a while for them to breach the walls of the city. They actually surrounded it and had it under siege. You couldn't get out.
So you mean that they actually eat the dead people to survive?
It's
Dead
not dead.
their children and ate
They
them.
eat their children. You hear what Deuteronomy say? You eat the fruits of your womb.
The first time,
This is an abomination.
but listen, it happened already. There was this story of two women. There was famine. Two women said, they have children. Let us kill our children and eat them. And one woman said, I will kill mine today and we'll kill yours tomorrow. So they killed the first child and they ate that child.
And the
But
other
the
one
other one
refused
ate her child. She ate the first one's child and then she hid hers. So the other mother now is saying, this is not fair. We should be eating both of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, they became cannibals of their own children to survive.
So that he will not
Of
give
the
to
first
any one
time.
of them the flesh of his children whom he shall eat.
Yeah,
But
meat
Because
is
he has
tender.
nothing left in his siege.
this tell you a lot about the mindset because personally, if this thing were to happen, me rather dead than eat my
It was
child.
desperation,
It was desperation. It was either you or somebody else.
right? Desperation. The will and the drive to survive. Because
Yep. You
I'm
become
saying if I have
selfish.
to have more children,
Yeah, if you survive, you can have more kids.
but
Tell
this
you.
one will sustain me
Come
until
on,
that time arrives.
eat the fruit of your wombs.
Yeah,
Yes,
Oh,
that's what it says.
oh,
and that's what happened.
This is
Not the
just
first time.
And,
no.
and it went on to verse 57 that says, the woman shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege.
Yeah, they
She
will
shall eat
plan
the children that she bears.
in secret.
And that's why we can understand verse 19. Warn to them that are with child, because I'm a double meat.
Oh
They are double
my
meat.
goodness. Oh my goodness.
And
Alright.
those that are suckling, that's tender meat. Young meat is tender, tough like meat, like old food.
This is horrible.
So
But Deuteronomy said it was a curse from then. They were cursed to do that from then. That's a curse. Deuteronomy says it's a curse. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the sea, in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kin and the flock of thy sheep. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shall be thou when thou goest out.
okay. So now these in all of the discourse are all signs, yes? Jesus is saying, you ask for signs? Okay. One of the signs will be there will be great tribulation such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. No, nor ever shall be. So what is that sign for? Okay, you said there'll be trouble. There'll be great trouble. And this will be a sign. A sign of what?
Of the coming.
Yeah.
It's a sign of the coming. Because he already told you what the end shall be.
Yes.
He already told you what the signs of the end shall be. So now he's telling you what the signs are to look for the coming.
Yes, you have asked me what will be the sign of your coming be. And he's telling them now.
Yeah. When all of this happens, look up.
Trouble. Right? So
Because
let's see
even
what
with the famines and the earthquakes, people weren't cannibals yet. But now they're being cannibals now. The age
see,
has
the Bible
ended.
says that the people Israel were dwelling in peace in their tents when this event happened. They were in peace. Israel was finally at peace. There was a signing of a peace treaty with Israel and its neighbors. Since Israel has reappeared, there have never been peace with their neighbors ever.
Mm-hmm.
Always been a tension, a war, a skirmish, a capture, whatever. Up to today, they are not at peace.
Yep.
But there's coming a time when there will be peace between Israel and Iran.
Oh.
They will not be threatened by Iran. They will not be threatened by Jordan or Egypt or Saudi or no, but there will be a peace treaty between Israel and the other countries surrounding them. Funniest thing, the only place that they're having a real problem with now is Iran. That point in time when there is a peace treaty between Israel and Iran, we
Everybody.
should be paying close attention because the Jordanians have now opened an embassy in Israel. Egypt has for long been at peace with Israel, right? The new Syrian regime claims now that they want to have peace with Israel and to want to have a signed peace treaty, etc. Now, when there is this peace between Israel and its neighbors, that's a sign. This is a sign because it says he will have an accord with Israel. He will negotiate this peace between Israel and its neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for that as a sign. When we see that, then we should know what time it is that we are in. Where are we in the timeline? This should tell us. But you're going along a road and you're anticipating seeing a sign, and you're looking and you're fretting, when is the sign going to be? And you're wondering and you're worried and you're trying to predict when the sign is going to be. It makes no sense. The sign will be where the sign is. So you just keep
You just
going
have to keep looking.
So for all of these Christians who are trying to say, well, we are in this time, and you haven't seen the sign yet. If the sign was there, you would have known it.
It's like when you're driving and you don't know where you're going, so you keep looking for the sign to say exit here to go there. You know where you're going, you just don't know when you're going to reach there to get exit off.
Precisely. Be
Just have to
aware.
just keep looking.
Be aware that there are signs on the road. Keep an eye out for them. And when you see it, you'll know it. And you must act accordingly.
Yep.
At that point, you have a decision to make. Eh? When there's a sign, you have a decision to make. Are you going to divert, turn to go here, to the left, to the
Or
right,
you'll
or go?
continue driving.
You have a choice to make. Nobody is trying to tell you that you don't have a choice. You can choose. And this is what Jesus is saying. when you see these things, I suggest that you do this. If you
But
don't want
you don't
to,
have to do it.
you do it. But I'm telling you, this is a sign that means this. Act accordingly. But we are trying to get to the sign before we reach it
Yep.
because
And
we
we
think
can't.
we're all. Just be calm. Jesus says, don't be worried about it. Continue driving. Continue on your way. Live your life and be productive.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And do what I've asked you to do. And just continue. When you come across the sign, when you arrive at that point, then you observe the sign and you make your left or your right turn. You act accordingly.
Heavenly Father, again, we come to say thank you. Help us to continue to discern and to see the signs. And as we see the signs, Father, help us to remember that we have a choice. And we pray, Father, that we'll always continue to say, you are our only choice. And we thank you, Father, for this knowledge. And we thank you for the opportunity to share this knowledge with others.